Hello everyone, it's Mr. Anderson, here to give you the first video of today on special parallelograms. This video will be on the rectangle. You've seen a rectangle before. This is a rectangle right here. It's a quadrilateral with 4 right angles. Here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we indicate that these are right angles with this box. Now, you heard me mention that this is a special parallelogram. You'd be wondering, well, this is a rectangle, and you would be right. But it turns out it's both. I just want to remind you of the properties of parallelograms. The diagonals bisect each other, consecutive angles are supplementary, opposite angles are congruent, opposite sides are congruent, and the opposite sides are parallel. And I want to take this third one, the opposite angles are congruent, and apply it to the rectangle. So are the opposite angles congruent in this rectangle? Well, let's see. This one down here in the bottom left corner is a right angle, and this angle opposite to it in the top right corner is a right angle, and a right angle is equal to a right angle. So yes, those two angles are congruent. What about the other pair of opposite angles, the top left and the bottom right? Well, these again are both right angles, so they are in fact congruent. So the answer to the question, are the opposite angles congruent, is yes. And in our first section, when we talked about just parallelograms, we said if a shape had a property of a parallelogram, that makes it a parallelogram. So because a rectangle happens to have a property of a parallelogram, that makes it a parallelogram. Now you may be thinking, can a shape really be both a rectangle and a parallelogram? And to sort of answer this, I want to kind of just explore the question, where do you live? Now, you've been asked this question before, and depending on who you talk to, you give different answers. You know, if you kind of want to give someone a general area, you might answer your city or your state. Or you might give someone a very specific answer and talk about your street or your actual house that you live in. And each answer kind of communicates different information. And the more specific that you are about this question, the more information that the other person is able to know about you. Because what if you sort of like hated this other person? And you're like, I don't want this person to know where I live at all. So you might be kind of smart with your answer, and someone asks you, where do you live? You might say the planet Earth. Now, this doesn't really tell me a whole lot of information. There's a lot of people that live on Earth. There's a lot of area to explore. So if a person was going to try to find you, it would be a very difficult process. And really, all this person is able to know about you is that you're a human being living on this large planet. So they might not be happy with that answer. So can you be more specific? Can you tell me more about where you are? And then you'd be like, okay, fine. But you still don't really want them to know exactly where you are. You might say, United States. You live in the United States. And the other person's like, okay, that is a little bit more helpful. Now that you've told me in the United States, I know that you're an American. I know that you don't live in Europe or Africa or any other place in this world. So it's narrowed it down a little bit. Instead of talking about the, 7 billion people on the earth, we're now only talking about the 300 million or so that live in the United States. I'm able to know a little bit more about you when you're more specific about where you live. Now, this is still not the most helpful information, so we would prefer to sort of narrow it down, even further than that. You might say that, okay, I live in Michigan, okay? And again, we've now narrowed it down to only, about the 10 million or so people who live in Michigan, not the 300 million that live in the United States as a whole. And I know a little bit more about you, right? I know you're from a Midwest state. That tells me a little bit about yourself. You are a little different than someone who lives in New York or LA. By giving a more specific answer, I'm able to know more about you. Now, that doesn't change the fact that you still live in the United States. By telling me you're from Michigan, those larger categories that you live on the earth, that you live in the United States, are still true about you. I know that. So when you are more specific, I'm not losing any information. I'm just gaining new information. I know more about you, the more specific you are. So to sort of summarize here, right, if we started with all, 7 billion people here on the earth, and I asked you where you live, and you're like, I'm one of these people. You're not really telling me a whole lot. I don't know anything about you. But as soon as you start saying, well, I'm from the United States, you narrow it down. You're more specific, right? I am now able to know a little bit more about you. And then again, if we keep narrowing this down, right? If we go just to Michigan here, right? Again, I get more information. I know more about you. The same thing is happening here when we're talking about quadrilaterals. Here in this chapter, we started with quadrilaterals, which are any four-sided shape. I don't really know a whole lot about you. I know you have 4 sides, just like on Earth I knew you were a human being, but there's not a whole lot that I have to go with, because different shapes look vastly different from each other. There's not really any property that's unique among all of these quadrilaterals. So what we decided was let's just focus in. Let's be more specific. Let's narrow it down to just the parallelograms. And we saw that by doing that, we gained 5 new properties. And in this chapter, we're going to narrow those parallelograms down even further. Kind of like the state, right? The state you live in is narrowing down where you live. The same thing is true here with the parallelograms. That if I narrow it down to just rectangles, I'm going to actually get new properties. But I'm not going to lose all of those properties that came before it. So that means rectangles are indeed parallelograms, right? So everything that's true for parallelograms is also true for this rectangle. The opposite sides are parallel. The opposite sides are congruent. The opposite angles are congruent. And we saw this one, right? 90 does equal 90. The consecutive angles are supplementary, right? 90 plus 90 does equal 180 degrees. And of course, the diagonals are bisected. The new property you get when I require this thing to be a rectangle, I'd be more specific about what I'm talking about. The diagonals are congruent. That means if I go draw this one in yellow, right, from the top left to the bottom right, and the other diagonal from the bottom left to the top right in teal, these are the same length. So if I put some labels on here and said that AC was 15, this yellow length was 15, then this teal length from B to D is also going to be 15. This is true only for the rectangle, not for the parallelograms as a whole, but again, as we narrow this down, as we be more specific, we gain new properties. So if I sort of did this example of where you lived, about what we kind of know about you, and sort of did this chart here, right? If you told a person that you lived on Earth, right, you're able to know that they're a human being living on Earth. Now, they can't be for sure if you're an American or a Michigander. You could be, but not necessarily. You could live somewhere else on this large planet. But if you suddenly told someone you were from the United States, right, you still know that human being, right? You still know that fact. But you're now able to say definitively that, yes, you are an American. But again, there's more places to live in the United States than just Michigan, so I'm not able to determine if you are for sure a Michigander. But if you tell someone that you're from Michigan, it says Metro Detroit up here, but at Michigan, right, that means that I know you're a human being because I know you live on Earth. I know you're American because I know you live in the United States. And I know that you're a Michigander because you live here in Michigan. You don't lose any properties, you just gain new insights. So if I did the same thing here with the type of shape versus the properties of the shape, okay, and I talk about a parallelogram versus a rectangle, well, the rectangle for sure has these new properties that has 4 right angles and the diagonals are congruent, but it also has all of the properties of a parallelogram. We don't lose those properties. Again, we just get new ones. So let's look at this. Is this enough information to know that this shape right here is a rectangle? And I'm going to bring up this chart and I'm going to say, what do I know about it? Well, I know that there are 4 right angles to this shape, which is indeed a property of rectangles. So this is enough information for me to know that this is a rectangle. Then let's see, what about this one? Is this enough information to know that this is a rectangle? Well, let's bring up that chart again and ask ourselves a question. What do I know about it? Well, the diagonals are drawn in, and it looks like the diagonals bisect each other. Now, this is a property of parallelograms and a property of rectangles. But I don't have one of these new properties of a rectangle. Nothing about this shape tells me that it's a rectangle. Sure, it's drawn to look like one, but all that it's really giving me is a property of parallelograms. It's not giving me an additional rectangular property. So this is for sure a parallelogram, but I don't have enough information to know if it's a rectangle. So what I'd like you to do is I'm going to give you a few problems that look like this, and I want you to decide, is this enough information to know that this is a rectangle? We're going to go over those questions, and then I'm going to have another video for the rhombus. I'll see you back here in a second.